Next, we will focus in on 133. Oh my goodness, talk about a battle. Number 9 ranked Jesse Mendez, the standout freshman for Ohio State, taking on the sophomore from Montini Catholic, the Wolverine, Dylan Ragusin.
Both of these wrestlers provide a spark for their teams, and nice crowd, a lot of maize and yellow out there.
It is a boo-out is what they said for the fans coming here to the Chrysler Center. Jesse Mendez 9-1 this season, pinned Connor Quinn of Maryland last Friday night. For Ragusin, he's coming off of a 2-0 decision win on Sunday over Rutgers' Joel Heilman. Lost a 4-2 decision last Friday night at the hands of Penn State's Roman Bravo Young, the number 1 ranked Roman Bravo Young at 133.
He wrestled a nice match against RBI, but I think he got his attention because RBI put the ride on him in the 3rd period, didn't let him off the mat, and I think that perhaps that if he'd had his choice, he might have probably, RBI would have been letting him up, taking him down, trying to get the major to come back for that 5 points that had been put up against them at a 125, but too much respect, and he showed that he can hold him down because RBY did have a great 3rd period ride to put out the fire of Ragusin.
Sean Burmett told us that Ragusin made a few technical errors, but it's about shoring those up, especially as he collides against Jesse Mendez. Ragusin from Montini Catholic out of Elk Grove Village, 11-4 this season, a pin, 3 tech balls, and 2 major decisions. 5 of his matches have been decided by 2 points or less.
We talk about Michigan and Penn State, and it looked like it was kind of lopsided, but it comes down to such little things, you know. They just didn't make certain things happen in key positions versus Penn State, and when that happens, you're not going to win against the best team in the country.
Still nothing. The fans wanting some points on the board for Dylan Ragusin.
So close for Ragusin there, and a nice job of facing up by Mendez to thwart the efforts of Ragusin.
Dylan Ragusin, an NCAA qualifier last season, reached the round of 12, took 3rd place at the Big Ten Championships last season with a 4-1 record.
Come on, guys, back to the center.
Back to the center, still no score between Jesse Mendez and Dylan Ragusin. For Jesse Mendez, 9-1, 3 pins, a tech ball, 2 major decisions. Won the Michigan State Open this season. An Indiana State champion, 4 years in high school at Crown Point, Indiana.
30 seconds remaining in the period.
Ragusin's he's a big move guy. Look, he's got the double unders, forcing the issue right here, keeping Mendez off his legs. Mendez has some great leg attacks, but Ragusin forcing his will right now, looking to work from the over and under here.
Ragusin earned 5th place at the Cliff Keen Invitational in Las Vegas. That was in December. And no score as we're on our way to the 2nd period. Speaking of Cliff Keen, the legendary head coach of the Wolverines.
I actually met Cliff Keen in Chrysler Arena then, 1970, his last year. They held the Big Ten Championships in this building for the first time in 1970. I was a 16-year-old, and quite a story, I might tell you.
And they will hold the Big Ten Championships coming up the first weekend of March. We will be there. Looking forward to being in Ann Arbor for that one.
Good hips out by Ragusin. Gets out for the 1-point escape.
Dylan Ragusin gets on the board as we have 90 seconds remaining in this, our 2nd period. This is a big match here as Michigan looking to even up this dual meet against the Buckeyes. The last win for Ohio State here in Ann Arbor, February 11, 2018. That was an 18-15 victory. The Wolverines have won the last 3 meetings between these 2 teams.
Good quick escape there for Ragusin, not letting Mendez building up more than 20 seconds riding time. Did a nice job of clearing the hands and doing a little hip heist out.
last year, Michigan completely dominant over Ohio State. That was in Columbus.
This looks a lot like the match that we just came from at 125, and it was right about now that Heinzelman was able to drop in, get a little high crotch, and get the 2 points.
30 seconds remaining in the period.
One thing that Tom Ryan told us about Jesse Mendez is that he has breathed new life into the room with the Buckeyes. You obviously have the upperclassmen in Kaleb Romero and also Ethan Smith, but he is a bit of a fiery freshman, is Jesse Mendez.
He needs to move his feet a little bit more and work to look for that angle, look for that scoring opportunity. And he's not been able to get anything but a straight-on shot against Ragusin.
Red down. Red takes down.
1-0 the advantage for number 12 ranked Dylan Ragusin over number 9 Jesse Mendez. Tom Ryan watching intently as he observes his standout freshman.
Green.
Caution, Michigan false start, first caution.
Set.
Jesse Mendez looking for victory number 10 this season for Dylan Ragusin. He's 11-4, looking for his 12th win of the season.
No.
Nice job of getting to the feet by Mendez there. Ragusin, a nice job of staying on top. Looking to try to find that wrist, pulling him back into his lap. Ragusin can be very dangerous in this position, looking for near fall points.
It is a war of attrition between these two. The sophomore in Dylan Ragusin and the freshman Jesse Mendez. And we are even at 1 apiece. Riding time, once again, a non-factor.
Here you got to keep moving your feet and win the war of the ties right here. Hand fighting, looking to see who can move the heads and find that angle. Look for that shot, but you got to get your hips to the outside, and neither of them have been able to really find that angle. Looking for a good shot.
Coming up on the 1 minute mark, we are tied up at 1 apiece between Jesse Mendez and Dylan Ragusin.
Straight on shot there. Good down block by Ragusin.
Ragusin unfazed by the offensive mentality of Jesse Mendez.
Looking back to dig in for those hand fighting, looking to pummel, and was able to get the warning on Mendez. Here's a nice shot, but before he's able to drop down below the hips, Ragusin did a nice down block, got that nice job of getting out of there, and then underhooks and forced him off the mat and got the warning. So now you've got the official's attention. This is where Ragusin needs to move those feet, go after it. Nice job by Mendez.
Mendez shot in once again. Well, it's clear that Mendez wants to take it to Ragusin, and Ragusin's been able to hold him off. We may have some extra wrestling here, Tim, as we head towards the tail end of the third period. So we will see bonus wrestling as the Maize and Blue, Sean Bourne-Mendez, 5th season at the helm for Michigan.
This is an important answer for the Wolverines right here, to answer that victory by Heinzelman for the Buckeyes at 125 and even the score up. So really important. Mendez in on that single leg. Nice job. Now all he's going to do is try to drop down and get to 2. Really nice job. Going to continue on.
So Jesse Mendez with the takedown victory, number 10 for him, as he defeats Dylan Ragusin in impressive fashion to put the Buckeyes on top, 6-0.
Sammy Sasso, the face of the program, and I'll tell you what, I would think he would be very fired up when his 3 teammates have had such good finishes, strong finishes in their matches. to win 3 in a row for the Buckeyes. Now the big favorite, Sammy Sasso. And he has been a pinning machine this year.
Oh, no doubt about it. 8 pins. 8 of his 16 wins have been by pinfall. He has 14 bonus point wins, 8 pins, 3 tech balls, 3 major decisions. He's won 3 in a row, 3 major decisions, and a pin over that 4-match win streak. He was a Big Ten finalist in 2020, captured the Big Ten championship in 2021, finished second last season. NCAA qualifier, finished second in the NCAA championships in 2021, 5th last season, and he gets on the board with 2 points over Fidel Mayora.
Sammy Sasso, a veteran now. He came into the program with high IQ, really good wrestling knowledge from that District 11 area in Pennsylvania, Nazareth High School. Coach Kroll, I mean, he came with a lot of wrestling knowledge, and he has continued to grow. Hasn't got to the top of the podium yet. You know that is his ultimate goal, but a 2-time All-American really has been the leader of the program for Ohio State.
Meantime, for Fidel Mayora, 1-1 this season, starting in place of Chance Lamer. Lamer not in the lineup. Typically, he is the starter for Sean Bourmet at 149 in the maize and blue. From Montini Catholic out of Norfolk, Illinois.
I'll tell you, Sasso looking, might bow an arrow it. He might look for a cradle. He just has a sense for the back.
Nothing.
Still nothing, a 2-1 advantage for Sammy Sasso, ranked number 3 in the country. And now he gets on the board with 2 points, so he will increase his lead to 4-1 over Mayora. Well, it is clear from our standpoint, Tim, that Sammy Sasso is on a mission to capture a Big Ten championship and also to capture an NCAA championship.
And what he's got in front, and we saw Logan Stieber, you know, of course, in the corner with Ohio State, the last 4-timer. This year we have 2 2 guys that are going to be 4-timers. Spencer Lee is coming up next. Iowa, Penn State, and then Yanni Diakmahalis at 149. So that's who Sammy Sasso's got in his way. And they've had some battles.
Oh, yes.
And so he certainly wants to keep Yanni from being a 4-timer. But it's kind of interesting that we have 2 going to be 4-timers when there's only been 4 in the history of college wrestling.
And 2 already that could potentially happen this season. Right now, though, Sammy Sasso, he is draped on the back of Fidel Mayora, the redshirt sophomore, 1-1 this season, coming off a win over Rutgers. Anthony White by a 7-3 decision.
There's Logan Stieber, one of the best that ever was, 4-timer, 4-time Big Ten and NCAA champ. And Sammy Sasso said, I thought I knew how to wrestle, but when I came in my freshman year and I had Stieber and Jaggers hammering on me, I knew I had a lot to learn. And I'm a very blessed man, he says, for the opportunity.
Talk about 2 outstanding coaching staffs with Ohio State and Michigan. Sammy Sasso on top 4-1 against Fidel Mayora as we commence the second period. Ohio State on top 9-0 over Michigan. So Ohio State hasn't won here in Ann Arbor in nearly 5 years. You have to go back to February of 2018. So far, it appears as if they will reverse their fortune unless Michigan can circle the wagons quickly. And 2 more points for Sammy Sasso, on top now 7-1.
Sasso doesn't mind being in a scramble. He loves putting himself in wrestling positions and wrestling through it. You know, that's you live by the sword, die by the sword. Sometimes you can make a few mistakes when you are fearlessly free, like Sammy Sasso is, but most of the time it works out, and it's what makes him the wrestler he is.
And he's built riding time up to 1 minute 38 seconds. Mayora gets to his feet, 7-2 now. The lead for Sammy Sasso, under a minute left in the second period. Sammy Sasso, the redshirt senior from Nazareth, Pennsylvania. coming off of a 12-1 major decision win over Maryland's Ethan Miller last Friday night. And 2 more points coming to Sammy Sasso on top 9-2.
You don't put your head close to the knee with Sammy Sasso. He's got the cradle on. It'll be something else if Fidel gets out of this. And he does. Nice job of fighting by Fidel there to get out of one of Sammy Sasso's patented cradles.
Well, we saw Sammy Sasso. He has pinned half of his wins have come by pinfall. He's on top 13-2, and you got to be thinking right now, if he's of the mindset, I want that tech fall. Give me the 5 points.
I'd say he's thinking, give me the 6 points. He'll, you know, he's working for the 5, and he'd like to get that pin along the way. This is a guy that never wrestles and thinks he's going to lose, Sammy Sasso, and that's why, you know, that's why I'm looking forward to what the rest of the year on as he goes and meets some of those guys like Yanni again. This guy's, like you said, on a mission.
We start the 3rd period 13-2. Sammy Sasso dominating Fidel Mayora. Well, this is a great learning experience for Mayora, even though he's got his hands more than full against the number 3 ranked Sammy Sasso at 149. So 13-3, the edge for Sasso. Now, this is what you talk about the match within the match, Tim. You do not want to have a tech fall. You want to hold it to a major decision. If you can't even, try to even make it just a decision. But he's got to get offensive here in this 3rd period.
Yeah, good point, Ray. I mean, there's an opportunity always for every wrestler.
Come on, guys.
Fidel knows he's not expected to win here, but he's expected to compete. And this is his opportunity for a minute and a half to compete.
A great crowd in attendance here at the Chrysler Center, but Ohio State so far has quieted the maize and blue fan base here in Ann Arbor.
Nothing.
2 more points for Sammy Sasso. He leads by a dozen with a minute 10 to go in this 3rd period. Now 15-4 the lead for Sasso.
Yeah, Sasso just wants to keep putting himself in wrestling positions, wrestle through, and when you do that, you find yourselves with opportunities to score big points.
2 more points for Sammy Sasso. He's on top 17-4. Riding time has been secured for Sasso. Sammy Sasso aiming for victory number 17 this season. Ohio State 9-1 this season. Their only loss collectively to Northern Iowa. For Michigan, they're only lost to Penn State. 2 more points for Sammy Sasso.
And he's going to keep him down here because with the riding time, he will have the technical fall 5 for the team. So he was out there, knew where he was, knew how many takedowns he needed, and got the job done and covering him well, and always got his 15 seconds to smother Fidel and get the tech fall.
For Sammy Sasso, it'll be victory number 17 on the season. Ranked number 3 in the country. The redshirt senior Buckeye, he came, he saw, he conquered. A tech fall victory for Sammy Sasso over Fidel Mayora. That is 5 points for Ohio State. It's 15th bonus point win this season. And Sammy Sasso continues in his winning ways. He has, with Amine and Carson Kharchla, one of our marquee matchups, both ranked top 10 in the country.
They're 1-1 against each other. They're 2 All-Americans, and they go out there and they get after it. They're grinders. Their execution is great, but I'll tell you what, they are like gladiators. We mentioned that in the opening round. Both of them been very successfully on big stages for a long time. Age group success since a young age.
Well, how about Carson Kharchla returning to the lineup last Friday, a 7-2 decision win over Maryland's John Martin Best. He was out of the Buckeye lineup for a month and a half due to injury, but thankfully he is back for Tom Ryan and company. Meantime, for Amine coming off of a 10-4 decision win over Rutgers' Connor O'Neill. Last Friday, he suffered his first dual loss of the season to 16th ranked Alex Facundo. That was a riding time in the tiebreaker. Sean Bourmet, you know that he doesn't like what he's seeing and hoping that Amine can turn things around for the Maize and Blue. The Amine name royalty for Michigan Wolverine Wrestling.
It really is. Amine, of course, was born into wrestling. His uncle and his dad both wrestled for the Wolverines, and two of the best to ever do it. His cousins, Malik and Miles, his brother Jordan. It's a family affair. Great legacy for the Amines and the Wolverines.
Amine claimed 4th place at the NCAA Championships last season, 2nd at the Big Ten Championships, fell to Iowa's Alex Marinelli in the championship match. He upended Carson Kharchla 3-1 by setting victory in the Big Ten semifinals. What a match that was, and now they rematch here in Ann Arbor.
Talk about families also. Kharchla, his dad runs a tremendous club near Cleveland. And again, he creates and develops young wrestlers, and they are very successful on the biggest stages worldwide. So Kharchla coming out of a program that had him battle-tested and ready when he became a Buckeye.
Carson Kharchla 7-1 this season, 1 major decision, 1 tech fall. NCAA qualifier last year, finished 7th at the NCAA Championships, 4th at the Big Ten Championships. He actually defeated Alex Marinelli 3-2 in a regular season Big Ten dual meet. No score between Carson Kharchla and Amine. Curious to see if the layoff has affected Kharchla at all. He did make his return last Friday in a win over Maryland's John Martin Best. We'll see if the layoff has affected him. Two high-level competitors here at 165.
Both wrestlers trying to find the inside position, working to Kharchla trying to get into his collar tie and work from the inside. Cameron trying to touch and go, look for a double.
Kharchla back-to-back high school state champion in Ohio. For Amine, a 3-time state champion at Detroit Catholic Central in Michigan. No score as we endeavor into the 2nd period. Ohio State on top of Michigan 14-3. The last time Ohio State won here in Ann Arbor was February 11, 2018. So nearly 5 years. And Amine gets on the board.
Really important to get out from underneath fast. You don't allow any riding time to build up, and you're back where you want to be.
A 1-0 edge for Amine over Carson Kharchla. Michigan needs wins moving forward from here on out if they are to get back into this rivalry matchup.
Kharchla does a great job of keeping great position and power, and then he's able to reach in there, in on the single leg. He's high, comes up now, cuts through, and nice job of the down block and hip action. Good, quick, heavy hips by Amine. That was a nice shot by Kharchla, but Amine was able to stop him. Kharchla wasn't able to keep this momentum going.
Terrific job by Amine to keep Carson Kharchla at bay and deny him the takedown. Under a minute left in the 2nd period.
And Kharchla is as powerful as they come in that position. That was good defense by the 2-time All-American Amine. Really crafty and has good defense.
Those guys, no stranger to being involved in close matchups, in high-stakes close matchups. I mentioned their 3-1 win for Amine over Carson Kharchla in the Big Ten semifinals last year in Lincoln, Nebraska. Michigan won the Big Ten championship, team championship. Now looking for a takedown is Amine here.
This would be huge if Amine could get that at the end of the period. You score at the end of the period, you score at the end of the match, you're going to win most of your matches.
You know what they say, many times your best defense is your best offense. And you saw the horsepower just driving through was Amine, but too little too late towards the end of the second period. And a good job by Kharchla to keep him and deny him.
Be real important for Kharchla here to match the quick escape that Amine was able to get in the second period. Amine really tough on top. Amine is a hammer on top, but he's got a lot of power underneath him in Kharchla.
Kharchla looking to get back to his vertical base here. A roll through.
Yeah, nice job by Kharchla, and Amine was not able to follow him.
Kharchla gets on the board. We are even at 1 apiece. 90 seconds left. This score is deceiving. 14-3. You're probably thinking Ohio State is dominating. Well, technically, yes. However, these matches, most of them have been razor close.
Just like this match right here. We've seen a lot of one-to-ones in the third period.
Who is going to make that offensive move to change the result and put the match in their favor for not only themselves individually, but for their team? Under a minute left in the third period. Both men ranked in the top 10 at 165. You're watching some of the cream of the crop.
Come on, guys, keep it clean, keep it clean.
In the Big Ten and collectively in the country.
Amine tapping the head, a little fake, looking for that opening so he can shoot that double that he likes to do. He likes to work from space, tap the head, do some fakes, but Kharchla does a great job of keeping position himself, and he's the one that's been in on a couple of shots, except for Amine there at the end of the second period. There's another little shot there. Amine able to beat him with a head-hands defense.
Amine's very quick and sneaky as well. He can spring in his offense quickly, as he just did right there.
Yeah, was not able to get through to the legs on his double leg. Kharchla ready for him. It looks like they're going to go into the sudden victory.
So another match that is headed towards sudden victory between Ohio State and Michigan.
They talked about keeping it clean right there, and so the attention on Amine there. The next time he might get called, so he's got to watch it there from a standpoint of the slap.
The third sudden victory match of the evening here in Ann Arbor. So they have come down to who makes that big offensive moment. Kharchla go for a takedown.
Yeah, nice job of getting in. He reached in there and was almost able to secure the leg, but nice job of defense by Amine.
Amine holds him off. Now some hand fighting between the two.
Feet have slowed down a bit. Trying to find that angle. Amine is trying to get his hips to the outside. Nice job of squaring off by Kharchla.
They both have denied each other's shots in this sudden victory. And now Amine looking to drive through. They're both on their feet. What a battle between number 9, Carson Kharchla, and number 6, Amine.
Kharchla in as tight as he's been right now. Can he drive through, get the head to the outside? Can he cut off? 40 seconds. He's got time right here. Wants to use his head as a lever, stay tight, really tight, and drive through.
They're saying no. The referees, they say no 2 points. The Ohio State coaching staff thought that Kharchla had the 2, but no, not yet.
He's driving through, looking to get that double.
And they go out of bounds. Tom Ryan pleading his case, but the officials, they're going to talk it over.
I think Amine, he flinched. Something happened, whether it's his hip or his knee.
They're going to go back to the center, it would appear. And they do not give the 2 points to Carson Kharchla. So we remain deadlocked at 1 apiece towards the end of sudden victory. But Amine, there seems to be something wrong with Amine a little bit. He may have injured himself, but here's a look at it.
You got to pick.
Yep. No, oh, it's right on that ankle there or hip or something in his face, but hey, he's gotten it out. Being real gritty right here, and right there is where they brought up two.
Red takes down.
But was he down on his, on his hips? There looked to be some space there, and it was a great fight out by Amine there to not give up the two.
Everybody standing here at the Chrysler Center for this riveting matchup between two of the country's best, Amine and Carson Kharchla. Talk about an atmosphere there.
Well, nobody but Penn State fills a 15,900 arena with more than 16,000 with seats all around the mat. They're all over the place. You don't do that in basketball, only wrestling.
Now we have a top 10 matchup between number 5 Kaleb Romero and number 8 Matt Finesilver. Finesilver, a transfer from Duke, a 3-time NCAA national qualifier, 174. Kaleb Romero, the All-American.
Boom on the double, and really nice job. Freight train double right through Finesilver for the 2 points by Romero.
Kaleb Romero, 17-3 this season, 5 major decisions, 4 tech falls, 3 pins.
Look at this. Drives through, came back up off his knees, drove through, got Finesilver down to his hips for the 2.
Romero has won 4 straight 2 pins and a tech fall. He was 4th at the Big Ten Championships last season, 5th in 2021, 4th in 2020. He finished 6th at the NCAA Championships last season. For Matt Finesilver, coming off a 7-2 decision win over Rutgers' Brian Soldano on Sunday. He's 15-4, 4 tech balls, 3 major decisions. And head coach Sean Bormet said he has been a welcome addition to the room in terms of how well and how much he conducts himself in the wrestling room.
Well, part of a great story in the wrestling world. The first ever 2 sets of twins at Duke, the Finesilvers. They all know the story. How would you like that to have, 3 siblings and yourself on the same team competing from Glenwood Village and out in Colorado, Cherry Creek High School, and they all end up at Duke and did a very nice job there. And now being a grad student up here at Michigan, great opportunity for Matt to finish off his career.
And Matt Finesilver, an ACC championship finalist at 174 in the 2018-2019 season. Another top 10 matchup between Michigan and Ohio State. Ohio State on top, 17-9. Ohio State, their only blemish to Northern Iowa. For Michigan, their only loss this season collectively to Penn State.
Finesilver doing what he has to close the gap here, because he can't let what happened right away happen again, because Romero likes to go from space, fakes, got clean shot, clean look. Now better by Finesilver there, much better job. Trying to get in and get that collar tie, close the gap. Don't give Romero that space to get clean shots like he did right off the whistle.
Kaleb Romero, a 4-time Ohio high school state champion. Went to Mechanicsburg, Ohio High School. 2-1 the edge for number 5, Kaleb Romero, over number 8, Matt Finesilver. As we're on our way towards the tail end of this first period. If you think what you're seeing here is something, wait until you watch number 1 Penn State welcome in number 2 Iowa. And look at this position.
Easy, nothing.
Finesilver has to know where he's at so he can stay in the crotch there, and he does.
Time, no point.
That'll end the first period, 2-1. The edge for Kaleb Romero over Matt Finesilver.
Green to first. Red takes down.
Don't you love Friday nights on the Big Ten Network? Two top 10 matchups, rivalry matchups with significant implications throughout the entire country.
Yeah, you know, it'd be fun to be a fan, I'll tell you that. It's, I know my friend Jim Miller, who's the executive director of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame Dan Gable Museum, they're having a big watch party in Waterloo. I know that, and watch parties going all over for this doubleheader. You know,
guys.
You get Michigan, Ohio State as an appetizer. For number 1 versus number 2, and it's quite a night for the wrestling nation out there on a Friday night doubleheader on the Big Ten Network.
And plenty of superstars, TJ, that we're seeing, including number 5, Kaleb Romero, number 8, Matt Finesilver. A 3-1 lead for Romero over Finesilver. And again, this is much expected. Pretty much, this has been the MO of what we've been witnessing in this dual meet for the majority of these matches.
Romero's a great combination of power and speed, and likes to move his feet, fake and go. More deliberate is Matt Finesilver, and Romero getting out of a wrestler that's very tough on top, Finesilver, and was able to get a quick escape, which was key for him to continue Romero to dictate
30 seconds remaining
this match.
Kaleb Romero always seems to be coiled and ready to attack when he sees the opportunity. The first 4 matches things were not going the way of the Maize and Blue, but they've been able to find some glimpses and infuse this crowd with some energy, with some fine performances. That'll end the second period.
We talk about the little things, you know. I mean, the little things executing. And so, you know, Finesilver knew going into this he needed to keep his hands on Romero. Well, he didn't do it fast enough, because Romero off the whistle came out, got that clean shot. Since then, Finesilver has done a really nice job of keeping his hands on him and not letting him get that space. But then the savvy veteran drops down for a really low single and gets the 2. Right when I said that, Romero executes not the double, but the low single, right on the ankle.
It was 3-2 moments ago, and it's almost like he felt it. Did Kaleb Romero, went right for the shot, got the 2 points. There's a mat return that'll probably make Shane Sparks' mat returns on Monday nights. Look at that, Kaleb Romero. But Matt Finesilver gets back on the board, rises to his feet. Riding time right now, a non-factor, 41 seconds, 5-3. So Finesilver is very much in this match still.
He's got to make something happen, because he has not been able to get to Romero's leg. Romero doing a nice job of moving laterally.
Under a minute left in this third period, 5-3. The lead for Kaleb Romero. And as soon as Romero starts to distance himself on the scoreboard, Matt Finesilver comes back, and he's still very much within striking distance.
Nice job of working the head by Romero. Snapping. That wears a guy out. That lower back is hurting
30 seconds
for Finesilver right now, because Romero's been on that head here for the last minute straight. And then the runaround. Pull, chased around, 2 points. Pull and chase Romero to perfection.
Finesilver went on the attack. Romero made him pay. That'll likely solidify this match. 7-4, the lead for Kaleb Romero.
Dropping down. If nothing else, he'll just hold on.
A win over number 8 ranked Matt Finesilver. The 18th win of the season for the Buckeye as he defeats the Wolverine, Matt Finesilver. The undefeated Mason Parris, 19-0. He has been a man on a mission, taking on the freshman, Hogan Swenski.
Mason Parris has been a force since he stepped into the Michigan uniform as a freshman. What a career, and he knows he has only one thing on his mind, and that is to be at the top of the podium at the end of the year. And there's the double leg in there. going to drive to try to put an exclamation mark on this meet tonight. Not going to be enough for Michigan, even with the fall, but it certainly will send the fans away in a better mood.
Last season, to finish 4th at the Big Ten Championships, the All-American, originally scheduled to take on Tate Orndorff. He's 3-0 all-time against Orndorff, all of them by bonus points. But now taking on the freshman. Look at that! Oh my goodness! Look at Mason Parris go to work.
Little fireman's carry action by the big heavy. Looks like a 157-pounder there.
Talk about baptism to the Big Ten Conference for Hogan Swenski, the redshirt freshman out of East Berlin, Pennsylvania, with an 8-6 record. 2 major decisions to his credit this season. Mason Parris is like a great closer when it comes to baseball. You send him in to try to finish the job if the issue's in doubt. Even though Ohio State's going to get their first win in nearly 5 years here in Ann Arbor, it's great and fun to watch Mason Parris just compete.
Very, very powerful. Got a big win over Kirkfleet the other day after losing to him last year, and so we're going to see. It could come down to heavyweight at Penn State at Iowa. If it does, you got number 2 and 3, and Kirkfleet and Cassiope, 2 of the best. And how deep is this heavyweight class? It's as good as it's ever been. And we lost, of course, Gable Steveson to the WWE.
Yep.
And he was at the top of the heap. Now he's gone, and you got 3 or 4 that really. It's going to be a fun Big Tens and NCAAs to see who comes out on top at the end of this year.
2 more points for Mason Parris. Also coming up bottom of the hour, we'll send you to Penn State for number 1, the Nittany Lions, welcoming in the number 2 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. Shane Sparks, Jim Gibbons on the call. They've told me through text they're probably well over 16,000 fans at the Bryce Jordan Center ready for this highly anticipated matchup between number 1 and number 2.
30 seconds remaining.
And for the Ohio State Buckeyes, though, Tim, this will be their first win here in Ann Arbor, dating back to that of February 11, 2018. So they haven't gotten a victory here in Ann Arbor in nearly 5 years, and they did it tonight in decisive fashion.
Yes, they did, and they did it with winning in certain positions, in certain situations, at the end of the match with great takedowns. They executed when it counted. Everybody's tired at the end of the 3rd period. Now, how can you execute at that time? And Ohio State came out and did it well and did it early.
And speaking of execution, that's what you're going to need to do. And what will be a crazy and a wild atmosphere with number 1 Ohio State welcoming in number 2 Iowa. Oh my goodness, it's the hottest ticket in town out there in Happy Valley.
Red cover.
But right now, Mason Parris in control against Hogan Swenski. You know that Parris is probably, he's a showman, he's an entertainer. He wants to put on a show, but Hogan Swenski continues to battle here against Mason Parris.
Nice job. Started with a double leg, switched off to a single, and used his head like a 3rd leg there. Used his head to drive through the hips and get the 2 takedown. Parris is so good in so many positions, in all 3 positions, on top, underneath, on his feet. More powerful than ever. How'd you like to see that guy coming down the track in the 110 high hurdles? And he qualified for the state in the 110 high hurdles.
Unbelievable. I mean, just goes to show you how much of an athlete he is.
Or coming at you as a linebacker, 3-time All-State linebacker at his high school.
Yeah, no thank you. And Sean Bormet told us that he has aspirations. Mason Parris does of making the world team, along with making the Olympic team as well. So not only does he have an NCAA and a Big Ten championships in his focus, but he has other aspirations, making the world team and the Olympic team as well.
And one of the advantages he has, and both these teams have great regional training centers, RTCs. Michigan's RTC, you know, well sponsored by their alumni and donors and Cliff King, and so they bring people in. They're Sergio Belikazov, the Olympic champion from Russia, is their head freestyle coach, and then they've got their former wrestlers, Miles Amine and Pantaleo. They got Derringer, the Oklahoma State three-time national champion, in the room. A lot of those guys are over wrestling in Europe right now, but that RTC is so important in recruiting, and Ohio State has a great RTC as well, and so the dedication is there from the schools and the programs to help them go on from their college careers to their aspirations of Olympic gold.
It's what they say, Tim, iron sharpens iron in both wrestling rooms among the elite in the country. Mason Parris on top of Hogan Swenski, the redshirt freshman, a 12-3 lead as we're on our way towards the third period.
You know, I was talking about the RTC. You got to give a lot of credit to these head coaches because they're really CEOs of big programs here. So they have to see the whole picture. Tom Ryan, Sean Bornett, they understand the business of wrestling. And part of the business is wrestling is putting over 16,000 fans in a place like Bryce Jordan to see one of the premier wrestlers in the history of the sport, Spencer Lee.
Yeah, coming back after torn ACLs and to do what he has done, unbelievable. Talk about a hammer.
Yeah, and just to finish that story, head coaches with a big vision, understanding all aspects, are going to recruit the best kids and wrestlers to their programs. And, you know, these two programs right here, Michigan and Ohio State, do a great job of developing not only their young wrestlers for their best college career, but for their best version of themselves past their college career.
Whether they want to wrestle in international competition or whatever it is they might do once they leave the halls. Another takedown for Mason Parris, 16-5, riding time secured. He is way on top of Hogan Swenski, now looking for the pin. It's Mason Parris. Parris was looking for his 11th pin of the season. Now he goes back to it. Can he get it? Mason Parris looking for the pin.
Swenski really fighting hard. I mean, you got to give credit to Swenski. There's the fall.
And he gets the pin. Mason Parris, 20 matches, 20 wins, 11 pins in the process, much to the delight of the fans here in Ann Arbor.